The Premier League is back, and so is the Keeper's Corner. I've got Super Dave Watson next to me. And Watto, we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, unfortunately for the guys, this weekend's not been the start that they would have wanted.
Yeah, they would have wanted, or we would have wanted. We're going to start, though, at West Ham. Areola, 3 minutes into the game, Watto, it's not the start you need, is it?
No, I think this is a really important one when we're all talking about the start of a new season. You want to get off to a strong start, not only for you individually, but your team. You're 3 minutes in, you've got a new manager, there's a corner against you, Villa, known to be good at set plays, so you'll have done your work yesterday. Right, we're zonal, but we need you to come and get this ball if it's high up in the air and the zones can't deal with it. And unfortunately for Areola, what we talk about, you've got to have a real strong mentality if you're going to play in goal.
This is bravery for me.
This is bravery.
This is all about bravery. You can have bravery in so many different forms, where it's smashing a player and not pulling in.
But
Bravery
look how high
here,
the ball is there.
Bravery here is him taking that diagonal step forward and going, no, I'm going to come and at least punch this. Because when it's 2.5 yards out, you have to help your teammates out, don't you?
But that's the perfect picture. If he starts just inside his own guy here, 26... in swinging ball, he's allowed the team to narrow up a little bit, so he's not got so much room to work. But that picture is perfect. If it had stayed a fraction longer, wait, see the flight of the ball, he can come and catch, he can come and punch.
He can affect it, he can help it.
Affect the game.
The thing is, he actually did start there. If you watch the whole clip back, he starts where the 26 is here.
And he just was safe.
As soon as the ball is kicked, he reverts straight back and drops straight back onto his line. That's a bit there.
Well, you can see the shoulder movement. Yeah. He's always working on his right and comes inside, squares off, reaction save. It's impossible. He's got to hold a fraction longer before he makes that safe movement into the near post. Stay. And at the point he's gone in safe now and he's square, that's when he should be attacking the ball because you see the height of the ball.
Yeah, sure. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic corner, it's a fantastic header, it's a free run. He shouldn't be allowed a free run. But I just think when you start the season, you always think to yourself, right, get off to a good start. And there's no better start for a goalkeeper than coming out for a cross or a corner in the first 4 or 5 minutes, getting a punch on it, getting a pair of hands on it. It sets you off for the rest of the game.
If he does that, his teammates have a real belief in him. Yeah. The next set play that Villa gets, they're not putting it in that area because they know there's nothing to come. Yeah. Look, we talk about bravery, mentality all the time. He's just played really safe and he's relied on that zonal setup saving him. And at the end of the day, they'll talk about, well, the marker could have done a little bit better. But in all honesty, if we're going to be really technical about this, and it's a technical thing to be coming for it for sure, but it's mentality and bravery here. You've got to come for that ball and help your team on that match day.
OK, then Watto, over to the Emirates then. It's Arsenal's first goal. Kai Havertz header. Bukayo Saka, fantastic ball into the box. However, Jose Sa kind of gets caught in no man's land, doesn't he?
Yeah, look, there's some real quality in terms of the cross and the delivery. And as a goalkeeping coach, you're going to talk about when you debrief this with the team, the players in front of you and everything. But the reality is they've not affected anything. So Jose Sa now has got to think, right, I need to be on the front foot. I need to be a little bit proactive here. It's early in the game. Again, first game of the season. You want to leave yourself in a good match. He's in a relatively reasonable position.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that positioning. And he's on the front foot. He wants to get involved. But I think the ball is so good, that as soon as he sees that ball is so good, he can't come and get involved in this. No. He has to retreat. He has to backtrack. And knowing that Kai Havertz gets their first contact on the ball, that's where you have to get back into a set position and hopefully try and react and make the save.
Yeah, honestly, it's minuscule, isn't it? In terms of decision making.
Split second.
But the one thing here is that he wants to be involved in something that he can't be involved in. And he can't be involved in it because the quality of the cross is so good.
It's too low, it's too whipped.
Yeah, he's got no height, he's got no space to come and deal with it. He's just got to say, that ain't my ball. That ain't my ball. And he hopes one of his central defenders gets a contact on somebody and he's been able to back off to about 2 yards and buy enough reaction time that if that header's anywhere near around him, he can save it. But at that point, he knows he's done.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
He knows he's done.
He is praying that the ball either goes straight over the bar or Kai Havertz sees that he's got a goalie coming out with his fists.
And he just shuts his eyes.
And he just shuts his eyes and almost misses it. But he knows, as soon as that ball is whipped and he comes to that ball, he knows he is getting nowhere near
He knows he's done there. Hey, and look, give Arsenal some real credit here, and we're talking about fine details, but we spoke on the first clip about how Areola could come and deal and get in something where he needs to. Here, that ball is too good. You've got to rely on your defender getting an arm across him and giving you a chance to make a reaction save. And it would have been one hell of a save if he saves it. Yeah. But the reality is, his decision allows an easy finish because it's not his ball.
Exactly that. Right, let's move on to then the second goal here at the Emirates. It was a Bukayo Saka goal. Typical Bukayo Saka as well, if you ask me. Gets the ball out on the right-hand side, cuts inside on the left, and in fairness, the defending isn't fantastic. You cannot show Bukayo Saka inside like they did there. However, he's put it into that near post. And for me, Jose Sa hasn't really been proactive enough to cover that area and make sure he's available to make that save.
No, look, I think your description of it is spot on. And like we said on the first goal that we've described here, you'd be really, really disappointed with the defending in front of you. But the reality is you've still got to do a little bit better job than just accept I'm going to get beat at the near post. I actually think he's in a reasonable position. I don't think he's actually got drawn too far away for if he's going to bend it across him to his right-hand side. So he still can see this ball as he chops inside. Is it perfect? Is everything rosy with it? No, but I still think he's got a decent sight of that. And I just think it's just gone in far too easy.
I think he's too low as well. Yeah. I think Jose Sa's too low. I think this is the point here where you need to be looking around bodies. You almost have to overcompensate and stick your head out a little bit and look round a body, but make yourself higher as well. Make yourself taller so that you can react, because he doesn't react until the ball's gone in the back of the net.
The ball's only head high when you see that picture there. Yeah. And if you look from the point it leaves Saka's foot, you've got plenty of reaction time there. Yeah. Even when it passes that last defender, he's got 6 to 8 yards. Is it quick? Yes. But it doesn't go right in the corner. And I'm like you, I think he's so low, he can't get his left hand up now, look. Now. And normally, we would say that's a real nice height for a goalie. Yeah, exactly. A real nice height. It's 2 yards inside the post, and he's not had to be expansive, high or low. And I just think he's got caught out first day of the season, and the pace of the ball and the pace of the actions just beat him. Yeah. That's what the Premier League is, but he has to do a lot better.
This is how goals are scored on a weekly basis, daily basis, up and down the country. Yeah. When you get a catalogue of errors going on, defenders not showing him outside, letting him in onto his favourable left foot, the goalie a little bit... This is how goals are scored, everybody. So we're not picking them apart. We're not trying to say he's made a glaring mistake in the act. What we're doing is saying this is what he could have done, as per usual, to do a little bit better.
But because he's low, mate, he can't get 2 hands up to have a bigger blocking surface. He has to go with 1 hand. If you stood up nice and tall, he can get them 2 hands across, and you've got a bigger surface area to block it, even if you kind of slightly can't see all the action, but you've got a bigger area to stop it. But because he's low, he can't get the right hand across. He has to go with 1 hand. And it's gone in far too easy, to be honest.
He knew. As soon as it left Saka's foot, he knew it was
I'm in big trouble.
He knew he was in big trouble. Right, let's move it on then. St James's Park, Southampton back into the Premier League, and they go and lose the game 1-0, and it's all down to this, Watto. When you're back in the Premier League, you're playing against the big boys. What you don't want to do is lose a game by getting caught out playing out the back.
No, look, this actually is a great clip, isn't it, for everybody wanting to take something on board and learn from a situation. Southampton back in the Premier League, as you rightly said. They're away at St James's Park. Really tough game, but they've got a one-man advantage. Yeah. And ultimately, we know Russell Martin's style. We know Southampton's style. They're going to play and they're going to give you a chance. But you're 0-0 and you're just going into half-time and you've got a man advantage. I just think here, take a touch on the ball, find your man if you're going to do, or really for me, at this stage of the game, it's 0-0, injury time first half. You don't need to be playing short, pressured passes.
I wouldn't have even taken a touch there. Genuinely, I would have angled my body the other way and I'd have got rid of it first time. I can see that Newcastle are trying to press. They're almost inviting the mistake.
They want the play.
They want you to try and play out from the back there, because this is the only way that they're going to score a goal is by the opposition handing it to them on a plate, by making a mistake, by trying to overplay. It's exactly what they've done. They've fell into the trap. And I think Southampton will come away from this game absolutely gutted. I know it's their first game back into the Premier League and there's high hopes, but it's a tough place to go. Yeah. But when you've got the man advantage, it should be, right, lads, we go for this. Definitely do not get caught playing out from the back.
Yeah, I think he'll be really disappointed. I mean, in fairness to him, he got in the team at the end of last year, played really well in the 2 playoff games and the final at Wembley. But the Premier League's a different animal, and he's not got away with it. Sometimes you do, but for me, it's a short 5-yard pass. He should be able to execute. But the state of the game, I think Newcastle, last embers of that first half, are really pressing the life out of you. You know you've got to go into the final third. You've got to clear the lines and take the ball up the field. And Alex will be mortified because he and the team have been punished really, really heavily there. And do you know what? 99 out of 100, he won't miss. That's a 6-yard pass.
Yeah, I know. Rosehead, mate. Put it in Rose. They can't score from Rosehead.
Can't Rosehead. That's exactly it.
All right, then, over to the City ground on Forest. We're talking about the Chris Wood goal. Neto parries out the shot straight into the path of Chris Wood, who slots it home. Watto, talk me through this one.
Yeah, I really don't like this one from a goalkeeping perspective. Obviously, the ball's had a little bit of intricate play. They've had a lucky bounce, and he shot that from 13 yards.
It's a good, quick finish. It's a
sharp finish, but he's actually, when you see him, he's not low. He's in a reasonable position.
Yeah.
But he's gone for the old wicket-keeping pick-up here. And when your hands are outside the line of your body there, and you can see my knee in there, you've got nothing. You cannot, unless somehow the ball sticks in your fingers at the bottom, it's coming off you. Yeah. So the technique is always going to cost him. For me, because he's in that set position before the shot comes in, and yes, it's a quick action, he's just got to chop that right knee away and get a parry on it and get it out of the 6-yard box.
I think that would be a chopper of the right leg and just a collapse one. Yeah. I think in training, you take that...
You try and catch it.
You're nice and calm with it, you chop that right leg out of the way and you just collapse on the ball, and it's dead simple. But again, it's down to mentality. It's calmness under pressure when the big moments strike. Yeah. First game back in the Premier League, the ball comes through like that and you panic and you go, like you say there, the wicket-keeping. As soon as you start wicket-keeping, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
All bets are off because you've got no control. The best case scenario is you fumble it out to the side there. Yeah. Worst case is it either goes straight through or it pops straight back out like it did here.
But like you said, in terms of goalkeeping sessions, and you do that practice, you would scoop that up
every time,
straight down the line, or it's a chop and you'll just take a little collapse into your right-hand side. But in the heat of the moment, that's why you do repetitive drills in training, so that you shouldn't get caught out. And realistically, the only technique that you can't do is what he did. And ultimately, this is goalkeeping, and when you get caught out with bad technique, 99 times out of 100, you're going to cough one up, and look, it's a dream finish for a centre-forward. But the ball coming to that position should never, never, ever happen. And fortunately for him, Bournemouth got an equaliser and came away with a decent result. But from the goalkeeping perspective, he's just got to do a lot better, and you can't ever get caught into this wicket-keeping thing. Football's a totally different game. You've got to learn when, where and how. Chop that leg and take the technique if you want, or you chop and you just get a real strong parry on it and just take it outside the danger zone.
Don't wicket-keep. Right, Watto, we've got to finish on a nice positive note. We're going to talk about save of the weekend. David Raya at the Emirates, 1-0 up at the time. Big moment, massive moment. Ball gets whipped in. It's a decent header, but David Raya's moving to his left, manages to fling out that right arm. Talk to me about the execution of that save.
I think this is why we play in goal, because we all want to make these saves. And the importance of the moment when we've just described some of the goals that have gone in and the timing of things. His team are winning 1-0. And actually, it's an unbelievable save when you watch it from behind the goals. He has to come across a little bit to his left because he doesn't want to give him the whole goal. Now you know you're vulnerable back across you. But in that millisecond here, you see it perfectly. He transfers the weight from his left leg, there, chops away with the right, and he's got the flexibility with the top half of his body to get that right hand out. And I think for all goalies that do normal training and all these saves, the reaction stuff is pivotal. But the work you can do with your top half of your body to get strong and flexible, that's what makes these saves. It's movement, transfer, and having the agility, the flexibility, the reactions. There's so much work gone into that one moment, and him as a goalkeeper and him as his goalkeeping coach will just be delighted because that's
one of them.
It's the minute you work for, and you do it a lot on the training ground. They've got reaction-type boards now where outfield players or the goalies winning their practice, you'll have 3 or 4 of them on an angle, and they'll be firing balls into the coach who's got the board, and it's just a flying connection, and it's just another tool that's come into the modern coaching, and you just work for this one moment of a reaction save.
Yeah.
And there you have it in a nutshell.
The thing I love about it is everything about it is brilliant. So from the ball in, his position, his starting position is absolutely fantastic. He's tracking really well, he's moving, he's nimble on his toes. And then when he's making contact with that header, you see him really start to get alive. Everything is pulsing, everything's good to go, and he knows that there's going to be a connection made. He retreats just a half step, just a quarter step back on the angle, just buys him just enough time to fling that arm out. He's got the athleticism as well, strong right hand as well, because you're coming back on yourself. Keeps it. It's a fantastic save.
But
brilliant.
And the key to the end of the action is it's not dead. He's not happy with that bit. There's gold shirts running in. Right, I'm getting up, and because he's gone soft enough with it, boom.
Yeah,
lovely, and it keeps it in his 6-yard box. Yeah. Thank you very much. And all that work on the training field has come to fruition. And actually, Arsenal get off to a great start, and he's been a big part of it.
Damn right. David Raya, save of the week. That was a Keeper's Corner. I hope you've enjoyed it. Watto, as usual.
Boom.
World-class analysis. World-class. We'll see you next week.